From the lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains.
Good morning and welcome to another exciting edition of ATN Sports Personality Show on Atlantic Television Network. My name is Kinsley Emmanuel and I'm very happy to be here this morning to bring you another exciting sports personality on the show. Of course, you may probably, know her. Maybe you might have talked about her on subsequent edition, of course, or for the show. But today is also another special day where we take a look at the life of Toby Musa. And of course, she actually put up a very impressive record, of course, this week. And part of that record, of course, we're going to be taking a look at her achievement and what she's been able to do for herself, especially this year, 2024 already. Toby Musa, of course, has started the year in a very, very good fashion, and hope, of course, she continue with this impressive momentum going forward. We'll bring you all that you need to know about Toby Musa, a new record as well this year, and of course what she tends to bring to the table this when we'll come back, of course, we'll dish out all of this to you. Please stay with us, we'll be right back.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on pop news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
People into the country illegally. There is a people into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human trafficker.
Honorable
You are a human.
They are not picking our calls. They made up their minds to
So no agreement with the EU, but
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATN. Only on ATN.
Okay, welcome back. Of course, the Sports Personality Show on Atlantic Television Network. We told you we're taking a look at the life of Toby Amusan. Of course, she actually put up a very impressive record for herself this week. She set a new African women's indoor record in 60 meters after she dipped 7.75 seconds at the New Balance Indoor Grand Prix in Boston. That's, of course, the new record for Toby Amusan. And that's what, of course, we're going to take a look at her achievement since last year and what she's been able to do for herself. And what does she have, of course, for Nigeria this year? Toby Amusan, of course, is a sports personality this morning. Joining me, of course, to do justice or to bring you more about the life of Toby Amusan this morning is Jimmy Jackson from Cross River State. Jimmy, good morning and welcome to ATN Sports Personality Show.
Yes, good morning, Kingsley. It's a pleasure to be on the show this morning.
All right, to have you. Izine in Lagos as well joins us this morning. Izine, good morning to you and welcome to the show.
Hi, how is this week?
That could is fine, and we're doing well down here. All right, Izine, you're very much welcome to the show. And let's take a look at Toby Amusan. And of course, I know you know her so well, but let's take a look at early life. Talking about Toby Amusan, she was born on the 23rd of April. Of course, she has a lot, of course, to do with her family, with the fact that her parents, of course, didn't allow her to, of course, go into sport, but she was able to, of course, push herself. She was born on the 23rd of April 1997 in Ejabo State, Nigeria. Her parents are Mr. and Mrs. Amusan, who were school teachers. Toby, as she is fondly called, is the last child of the three siblings. And she had her secondary school education at a Lady of Apostle Secondary School in Ojibode, Ogun State as well. She grew up alongside her three elder brothers. Meanwhile, Toby Amusan's parents did not support her during the early stages of her career. Jimmy, let me start with you on this one. What do you make of the early life of Toby Amusan?
Yeah, thank you so much. I think when you look at and how people are like children wanting to be part of a lot of parents don't really know how they are doing sports. It's just now that we have a lot of awareness that a lot of parents are trying to support. All your parents will support you going to sport actively. They might have, at some point in their life also, else is going to be very difficult. So looking at Toby Amusan's, early career and how she struggled, growing up with work and, she choosing this path. And taking into athletics is not that so popular. It's one of those sports that it's a single sport, like individual sports, and you know how to it is, because you have to be training, you have to pick up skills. So for me, I think resilience, focus and determination brought Toby to where she is right now. And the parents right now will go back and say, yes, despite the initial setback, they are proud parents of Toby also.
Isn't it, of course, you've actually heard of how, of course, she didn't listen to her parents and she decided to do what she wants rather than what the parents, of course, want her to be. You know that her parents, of course, were teachers and they wanted her, of course, to go to school and maybe uh, become one of the very best, in her future, in the world, and all of that. But she decided to go in different direction this time around, going to sport. I don't know what you make of it for Nigerian parents as well as kids down here. Do you think, it is always good for you to listen to your parents, especially as this world is concerned?
Yes, first of all, children need to listen to their parents. It's one thing that Islam has taught us that if you're Christian or no more, women, sometimes parents do as the real some future, obviously from what you've been. But Toby Amotan case, as a lady, you know how difficult to venture into sports. It's not as something as of me. Even for the angle, it's difficult because this was I think our parents, education is enough. Not knowing that education then sport is excellent and was able to showcase to our parents and not just to our parents, into almost all the parents, if not all the parents in Nigeria and Africa is large because women need support and that's how she was able to break through. Being the only girl, she's supposed to like pamper,
Yeah.
no one's supposed to start going to sports because it's meant to be living the day lifestyle, being in as a queen her brothers, but no, she felt could do it on track and then she went to the house. So I think it's a big call for her parents. One thing we said, I have a cousin who is a boy. I'm calling him a boy, he's my elder cousin. He's now a man. He was so talented when it comes to football. But I know when I was in primary school, I remember his dad always flogging him. At some point, flogging him to the point the guy had to he had to keep back into the nine trying to fix academics, but I feel if they had gone with his talent and also they would have been a better achieved person than one we have seen. So being the way for a lot of parents have understood that sports marry with education you can do for your children. It's not like every one of us would play sport, but when you see a child has that talent, all you can do is to support that child, even also providing education. Because what else? You need education because this is what will give you balance and still ecosystem after you retire because we see that you do military, you could be a coach. So all of things are important. But I'm really happy for Toby and Musa for us to have broken that kind of barrier and being that the Google map has such a good control age, I would say.
Jimmy, taking a look at the case of Toby Amusan, will you advise parents, to allow their girl child, to participate in sports?
Well, I think for me, it's going to be very difficult, considering the fact that, except that, like two who, after competing at the national trials, she was picked up and sent to, further education, mainly with sports. We have had different talents. Let's come back and look at Nigeria sporting calendars. Every 2 years we have the national sport festival. Every 2 years, not have the Nigerian universities game. These are some of the sporting, activities that should be able to, bring out more of Nigerian talent. But what do we have? Talking about the Nigerian universities game, a lot of parents or even lecturers, the university community, sometimes, punish students actively involved in sports. You take, for example, stepping for you, no one to speak for you. So the challenges, why young lads they can actually push forward in sports in Nigeria before we can even talk about parents. It shows that the society, especially in the Nigerian setting, does not really promote sports aside from which is trying to gain, like always been gaining traction from telling you already. Or ask people, I think it's really, really important. And that's why even parents would tell you that all you need is education because at the end of the day, the educated person actually doing life. But you look at the US where some of these athletes have been graded, they combine sports with education and are always the additional that their career. So for me, I think it's just supposed to have a mind shift and actually allow government and society to actually invite sports in my curriculum. If you're not doing sport for pedals or the thing, it's actually for your cancer country.
Yeah, isn't it just like Jimmy said? You think the Nigerian educational system, if they actually, of course, maybe include sports in the curriculum, you think, of course, the Nigeria will be able to breed more talent, when it comes to sports, different sports to say down here in the country.
Definitely, I'll start with every nation has their challenges. At Nigeria, I know we have more than just a lot of it. But to talk about supporting sports, yes, one sport that has always garnered, I think the financial support has to be when it comes to football. For other sports too, they found a way to shine as brightly as they can. For the case of which is individual sport, I feel first of all, I feel say it depends. The family here is the primary responsibility. Why would I say so? If your parents can support you, then whatever comes in with academics becomes secondary. What I mean is that if your parents understand you have this talent and then they ask you and it's support while you marry together with academics, you find ways that you have a land but there is state of equilibrium could be because you know that your parents know what you're doing, so you're not sort of hiding. When it comes to academic calendar, it's very stringent in Nigeria. It's not easy to combine with academics, but then there's been a little shift, and not just about this little shift. There's some schools that support sport so much, like my alma mater, University of Port. There are lots of students that come in based on scholarship, not because of what they have intellectually, but what they can do to become sport wise. They are giving the stay in the sports hostel in Port Harcourt. So the University of Port Harcourt, but that's why you notice for university games, University of Port Harcourt usually come first. For the Nuga games, I think they are the record winners when it comes to university games. Even Lagos State supports that way for the athletes. States are like, so I think what we need to do sort of teach other schools how to mirror or how to marry education and sports. We can't push away education, can we throw away talent? Because notice the problems of the world that has been solved on this end is purely based on talent, not worked upon by human intelligence. So we can't say we should go the opposite. For good thing is that situation there is a certain paradigm shift. So people like me myself, come on. One of my jobs should be in sports because you should have that talent. And one thing I know about talent is that it's a matter of habit. It's the hard work that keeps you with that global anxiety. So that's why if the children can be supported, if the artists can be supported, and we have friendly curriculum when it comes to our academic activities, because sometimes students cannot travel to some events, but then it's going to sort of go into, let's look at our law and find a way to amend it where these two things can work in tandem, then it will be the best. But I don't think that the parents should still stick to the aspect of education. Look at ruling the world. It's not about study this way. It's about what you can bring to the table. What need can you solve? And those are the different it's very important. That is why you always see the athletes still combining. But I think parents need to understand that it just doesn't end in the face. That sometimes to even yield much more than what academics will do for a child. You can death of Toby Abusa. In fact, first men and women in the world, I think they are the most, especially this time. You look at the kind of money they earn, although not all of them, but that gives you a certain landing point. Even in the FPL here, our FPL players earn a lot. They even earn more than administrator, so it's a good way to help your children. So I don't feel we should let that. I think it should be a sort of admit where students who have potentials and who have the talent to represent the country, let's start with the local government, that's the grassroots to the state and then federal or national level, where they can get an event and still go back and write their exams. Either they write it before they go or after they go, because this is how things are being done. Our educational system should be a bit flexible. Flexibility is the word. Once you can be flexible to this act, then they can be able to marry their academics and then the talents that was given to them.
A lot to be done when it comes to unearthing talents down here in Nigeria, especially for the girl child. Just like we've seen Toby Amusan, despite the fact that her parents, of course, didn't want her to go into sport, she actually knew what she wanted and she went for it. And today, of course, she's on the lips of everyone as a stand-up. That's, of course, we're taking a look at her life today. Of course, you will say she should be a source of inspiration, to so many girl child out there. Just like Izina and Jimmy has suggested. Hope that sports, of course, will be included in the curriculum of Nigeria educational system for we to see how, of course, to unearth talents in the country. All right, let's take a look at her career. Talking about Toby Amusan. From an early age, Amusan was an accomplished athlete. She was the 200 meters silver medalist at the 2013 African Youth Championship held in Warri. A year later, she took her first major medal in the 100 meters hurdles, which was also silver at the African Youth Games. She then claimed gold in the event at the 2015 African Junior Athletics Championship in Addis Ababa. Also in 2015, while making her All-African Games debut as an 18-year-old, she won the gold medal in the 100 meters hurdle. So she started very early, right from 2013. Jimmy, of course, she's been clinching the medals. I don't know what you make of it. Talking about her early point of clinching medals in her career.
I think for me, this is and again, looking at the trajectory, she's actually been able to that's a decade of actually being involved in athletics to all of the race. And again, I think it's just more consistency and hard work that's actually played out for Toby Amusan. First off, after the championship in Delta, a lot of scouts came for her, and I think her turning point was even leaving Nigeria. But again, you see, she's just a person, and you need a lot of support, morally, physically, spiritually, and financially, for you to maintain that consistency over time. I think for me, the highest view for Toby Amusan of his career when the Toby it's been had going to his training. She did all to the 75 for the game. What shocked me most, look at Toby's career, was the statement she made after changing that record. She had to borrow, and look at the word, borrow $25,000. That's a big amount. That's a big amount of money. And again, that shows that you're not just going to stop sports. You're not just going to say, oh, in the next 3 years, we'll produce this. It's about investment, financial investment, and not just the money, but actually going through the process. So for me, I think consistency has played out, and I think a little bit of luck has actually shined with the also. And again, way is actually based to practice before that actually contributed, for her, being at this level of her career. And again, I think I feel sad for her who not really invested, especially in athletics. You can't talk about athletics in the sporting world without mentioning Nigeria, because go back time, 1996 down to now, talking about the Olympics, you're all to be one particular athlete think for Togo was breaking the world record. The first time we saw a Nigerian artist being sung at the world singing, she has been, quite consistent. And I think we should look beyond to the Muslim and who would actually replace that. That's true. Are talking point right now because right from this team now, I can think for you can't really think that by 2024 we still have athletes that should be able to play to them also a run for harmony. We don't. So we're just relying on the already established names. But I think for Toby, she has had a great career and we hope that she continue maybe in the next 3 or 5 years because Nigeria still needs to maintain that position at the world level.
Isn't it? Jimmy talked about consistency. It takes a lot, of course, for you to build yourself to this level, especially. We saw Toby starting at the age of 13, of course, to start winning medals, for herself. And Jimmy talked about consistency, and you, of course, training with the best of facilities, and all of this, of course, costs a lot. Will you say the reason why we don't see, or probably Nigeria do not harness more talent in the country, especially the girl child, is as a result of lack of finance and as well sponsorship?
Yes, finance goes a long way. For every sport, you need to have that money to be able to support, to be able to get equipment and also to support these athletes. Well, I feel one of the major problems we've had is the technical know-how. It's not just the financial aspect because they want to look at hurdles. For you to be a hurdle athlete, you don't really need so much. You need a track, and then if you could make something cheap, how you can meet a carpenter. That's how a lot of them, most of the equipment were not there. So I'm saying a hurdle, the size that is required, and then these athletes could start practicing. It's just like each age you could learn that the child can jump through it and all. So I feel it will start, but the big problem we have is the technical know-how. What would I say? So I was president for that's the National Youth Games held in that Sabah Delta State, that was last year. So during the punk I realized that the coaches were just teaching these athletes how to jump. They are not really teaching them how to land. Because at the point where they learn to the length they are supposed to get to, they can't. They're not looking at, they're jumping with their legs, not knowing to get that flight and sort of stretch their body to go a distance. And this is something these athletes are learning at that tender age. Is there you instill the right thing that so I feel the main problem we're lacking has to be technical know-how. It's week was doing quite well. Let's remember, not even she didn't start as a hurdle athlete. She was more of the 200 meters track. I think she did 400 at some point, but it wasn't really working for her. Then she had to switch over to hurdles, and since then, that's knowing where you can try, knowing how good you can. Because it's the technical ability to know at the early stage to know if the child should still continue in hurdle. Can we use her strength? Like all having good endurance. Why would you have endurance level and then be running 100 meters? It's for you. You go to the long distances. Those that have the pace will go for the sprint. So I think one major problem we had is the technical know-how. It's one thing that our athletes have been complaining, even when the track athletes went to the Olympics, even the Commonwealth. It's a problem. They say the coaches are doing quite well, and also the equipment. I think it's not important. But if get good coaches, we could sort of develop our coaches, but our coaches too can evaluate themselves to improve what they do. Because sports, not that sport is dynamic. And not to teach. It takes an athlete that has the talent and also has the good technical support to extend their dominance. And that's one thing that I've helped Toby. Toby has improved, her coaching crew has improved since she got better, and with her games. I think the biggest consistency for us has to be the year 2022. She cleared everybody. There was nothing that was left for a hurdle that Toby did not do. Even becoming the effect that's a world record holder for Nigeria. So I feel we do not have financial support, which is very true, especially for the individual sports. But some sports like athletics, I think they're still doing quite well compared to other sports. The Athletics Federation of Nigeria, they receive back the support for to other sporting events. And one good thing for them is that they get spotted. Once you're doing well for every of athletics event, they are scouts. Even for that of the youth games I was getting in Asaba, the player, I'm trying to remember the athletes, I can't remember his name currently, from Delta State that broke the 100 meters for the juniors for boys. He was in mistaken. I don't get, but I know that I'll get that name and in time to come, if he's still going to be in global shape, would remember and say this is where it was, and that's how he started for Toby and Musa. If this, I think there are things that are very minute that government can do, but sometimes we think it's rocket science, we have to get all the money in the world, put these children on scholarship, this is nothing again, so that financial barrier can be eliminated. The parents will not be complaining how we're going to take you to school, all of that, and force them to go and do meet and job. After then, put them coaching facility, let them keep training with it's consistent that will improve in whatever they do. So feel the need to be funding for like budget we have for that's the 2024 budget for Nigeria. I think sports has the lowest allocation. Give it to that yes, 20 billion like before, but we have the lowest allocation. So for something that could bring in a lot of revenue and be a source for youth, knowing that we've not really been that strength when it comes to the force, when it comes to not some producing or doing producing employment, getting employment for our citizens. So I think it would be better, but I just wanted to keeping it down to just financial aspects. I think we need to improve mostly on our coaching, and once we improve the coach, we have the direct contact to these athletes, they'll surely get there, and we'll see greater athletes and sports men produced in Nigeria.
All right, Jimmy, isn't it talked about the fact that the coaches, of course, have to improve, and not really much about finance or sponsorship, because at the end of the day, you can actually dole out a lot of money in financing these athletes to go for a particular competition, probably train, but they don't get the necessary skills because the coaches, of course, are not good enough. But what do you think the federations should do to make sure that these coaches they get the best of skills to impact to these athletes?
Well, I think it is quite simple. What they need is to probably give them scholarship, send them for training and retraining, because there's nothing you can do without updating parents every day. There are new techniques, new additions. So if you are actually not in the trend, or actually not the new rules, the new techniques, definitely you will actually have some time. You need that at this stage, whereby not just only Nigeria is talking about producing the more athletes or the best in the world. Other countries are doing that. Looking at China, who actually take a 10-year, 5-year plan to actually produce stars who actually be a good person. So they actually do that. And you're not just looking at the athletes. Thank what she pointed out about coaches lacking the technical know-how on what is actually required to produce this athlete. I think the federation, especially the athletic federation, will actually send these coaches to further training to update what they are really for most of them athletes who will actually in that particular sport they could not actually get the initial goal of that career. So and now they decide to go into coaching. But times have changed, things actually coming up. So training is one of the things that is actually needed to actually help most of these coaches. But at the end of the day, we now want to go back and foreign coaches to come and train and report athletes. Whereas proper investment and proper training is given to these coaches, only those coaches.
All right, at this point, we'll take it. Okay, isn't it? You want to weigh in something?
Yeah. Yes, you remember for the wrestling federation of Nigeria, held by
Daniel Igali.
yeah, Daniel Igali. You see, it's matter of exposure. Daniel Igali did not win Olympic gold for Nigeria. Remember, he won it for Canada, and then he came back. And the experience has given us our first ever medal when it comes to wrestling, and that was the silver Olympics. That's 2021. The delayed 2020 Olympics. That's Tokyo. It just tells you what good coaching can do. And since he came into that federation, it's been all rosy. Athletes have been able to improve their game. The thing that comes with you having someone that understands the sport and knows the basics and the rudiments. So that's just the whole thing. You can get a good coaching background for these our athletes as people in their homes. I have no issue if you have to get coaches. But why can we have those at home also learn? Because there's no pattern in learning. I always believe anybody can teach you. It's a matter of you do the best and let the money that you are paying that coach be worth it. You can't bring him from abroad and then you're paying him more than what you're paying the home, and it's not reflecting in the performance of the athlete. You get learning is everywhere. Like the Nigerian Premier Football League. We've been doing for years. South Africa came in like blueprint, and the PSL is way better than the FPL based on organization. I would say talent or not organization. They are way better. We can always learn. The most important is, are we infusing the right attitudes, the right scenarios? Once all of these things are done, I feel it gets well, not really that happens. But I'm just saying, it doesn't make like 50 money in the system where the primary people that they are eating one effectively. That's where we get efficiency and get the result.
Alright, so we'll take a short break at this point, and when we come back, of course, we'll continue to look at the life and the achievements of Nigerian 100-meter hurdler Toby Amose. Please stay with us, we'll be right back.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sport, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Telling him not to counterpunch. Telling him not to counterpunch. People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human
On the point of order.
Honorable
On the point of
on them. They are not picking our calls. They made up their
So no agreement with the EU, but
From the lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all the sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATN. Only on ATN.
You're welcome back to the Sports Personality Show on Atlantic Television Network, and of course, we're bringing you all that you need to know about Toby Mosen. Don't forget, this week she put up a very impressive record for herself. As she set a new African women's indoor record in 60 meters after she dipped 7.75 seconds at the New Balance Indoor Grand Prix in Boston. And that's what we're taking a look at, what she's been able to do for herself. Another record for the year for Toby Amose. But let's take a look at what she's been able to do for herself over time. In 2016, as a fresh woman in the University of Texas at the El Paso, Mosen became the second athlete for the university to be named the USO Female Track Athlete of the Year since Otep joined CUSA. She was the gold medalist in both the 100 meters hurdle and 200 meters. She also claimed a silver in long jump at the USA Championship. Mosen first broke the 30-year barrier in the hurdles with a time of 12.83 seconds, of course, in that particular one, and she was runner-up at the 2016 NCAA Outdoor Championship 100 meters hurdle. She ran a windy 12.79 seconds. Is Jasmine Camacho Queen. Mosen also competed at the 2016 World Junior Championship in Bartos, Poland. Despite running her second fastest time ever, she placed 50th. Final, she went on to represent Nigeria at the Rio Olympic Games, reaching the semi-finals of 100 meters hurdles. In 2017, her first outdoor race for 2017, she ran the then lifetime best and the UATV record of 12.63 seconds in 100 meters. As she was CUSA champion in her specialist events, and also the runner-up in the 200 meters. At the 2017 NCAA Outdoor Championship, there was a reversal of finishes 100 meters hurdle. In a dramatic race, Mosen claimed the title ahead of Camacho Queen, who was the previous year's champion. She did this in a personal race time of 10.57 seconds. She also represented Nigeria at the World Championship in London later in the year. And of course, 2018 was the year we saw her, of course, at the Commonwealth and the African Games as well. Mosen ran a personal best of 7.89 seconds at the 60 meters hurdle at the start of 2018 season. Entered the country, Nigeria, at the Birmingham World Indoor Championship, reaching the finals event. And at the 2018 Commonwealth Games in Gold Coast, Australia, and 2018 World Champions Daniel Williams seems to be the favorite to pick the title in the absence of Sally Person. In the final, however, Mosen moved ahead of her competitors and won the race by a clear meter ahead of Williams. She also won a bronze medal in the 4x100 meters relay with her teammates Joy Udo Gabriel, Blessing Okagbari, Rosemary Chukuma. Later in the year, she won her first African Championship title in her signature event at the Asaba African Championship. This fulfilled a Nigerian tradition, winning 11 gold for Nigeria in the 100 meters hurdle since Judy Belgam prior for the inaugural edition of the championship in 1979. She also claimed a gold medal in the 4x100 meters relay at the championship in 2019, of course, where she got a second African Games title. Well, then she was 32 years of age. But Jimmy, it's been a very good one, of course, for Mosen. since, of course, she went to the United States, of course, where she started schooling down there. And we've seen, of course, a very, very impressive improvement, of course, in her career. Taking a look at, of course, the laurels, the medals, of course, she won in different events ever since, of course, she went down to the United States of America.
So the question again.
All right, I'm talking about achievements ever since she went down to the United States of America. She's been very, very impressive. Taking a look at the medals, of course, she's won for herself for so far since then. I don't know what you make of it. What do you think, of course, could be responsible for her improvement ever since, of course, she went down to the United States of America?
Well, definitely it's simple. We talk about facility or ensure that we talk about the rights, environment, the coaches that have been came has actually been one of the propel, indices that have actually helped maintain this consistency over time. So it's actually simple. The United States actually contributed immensely to talents from actually Africa. And it's interesting for us to note that the United States athletes are born and bred in the United States and from their universities, various universities right there in the United States. So I think for me, the facilities, the coaching and the environment, and also the government athlete support in sports, you can actually get a youth visa by actually being an athlete. So that yes, you might come back from for your country, but right there in the United States, while competing with others, also helping build US citizens who are there. So I think for me, it's quite simple. The environment, right coaching, and right facility have actually helped to be able to, in our career.
All right, impressive one from 2019, 2020, 2021. In fact, 2022 was really a remarkable year for Toby Amusa, where she put up a very impressive record. Talking about the world record at the World Athletics Championship. I don't know what you make of it, isn't it? After that particular performance, we saw the Athletic Integrity Unit. They came for Amusa due to the fact that she missed, 3 doping tests. And up to this moment, that matter, of course, is still on investigation. Do you think Toby, of course, will be able to get out of the hands of the Athletic Integrity Unit?
2023, that's the year for total, but we had so many problems to visit. That's how they expect 2022. Breaking the world record with 12.12 seconds when it comes to the 100 meters and hurdle, winning the Diamond League to win the Commonwealth back to back. It was an impressive year, and one thing we knew that the global stage would surprise how someone from Nigeria at some point is doing something as good as that. Fast forward 2023, she had anti-pin violation, meaning that according to them, she needs 3 anti-doping out of competition testing. There's in competition testing and then out of competition testing. She needs 3. And usually there is 3 that is done every of the year. Okontobi Amusa, she said she did not, and that was also proven right when the independent panel that was testing came into rest before she was able to participate at the World Championship held in Budapest last year. Although she finished a disappointing, and that can not even hold her back with anything, because the distraction of so much. There are some people that they might not even have been able to participate at that point, to the emotional, psychological drain that this kind of situations can put you under. She was cleared of 2. The third one, she said she did it that I can't find, but at least for the fact that she did 2, that is enough. But still, for World Athletics Championship, he said they believe that they do not make an error when it comes to this kind of situation. That is why the case is still ongoing.
Yeah.
They are trying to find ways to make sure that it doesn't look like an oversight on their part, that they made an error, because all of this are documented. When it's them, why isn't the one affected? Because anytime when you are not in competition, you let the doping officers know that you are around, tell them the day and the time and all these are things that are well done. So they come there and they take your sample and they leave. So I feel it hopefully before the first quarter of this year, this matter should have been settled, because now she has started in a good form, breaking the African indoor record of that 60 meters of 7.75 seconds. We want to see. I don't want her to have another year of distraction, because that one be clouded 2023. We expect her to be at the ultimate level. But when it comes to sports, consistency is not that easy. But she has even proven to herself that she can be on top of it. The worst that I've so I think she's on the 12.60 to 0.78 and 5. But at least she's still in road 12 and 10. She has not gone below that. That means that that level of trust and encouragement going into the new athletics season. So hopefully, World Athletics Championship, sorry, the World Athletics Federation, they find a way to get to a point where you know who defaulted. Is it Toby? Let us know. If it an oversight on your part, let us know, because you can't keep stressing the young lady at this point. She was clear, she's still ongoing with the process. At some point, I felt they need to close the case, but no athletes have been able to avoid a sanction of this level. You might have won the one by the independent panel, but they'll still find a way to bring in where the lapses are. But for that of Toby, we're still not saying it. For the fact that investigation ongoing, we'll wait to see. But I pray I could believe that Toby understands her job. If you look at that, you know that it's more of personal belief, sacrifice, and the factor of giving much, so receiving more in return. But once you put in a lot of something, I tell you, you're going to be very productive, and that's what Toby has been doing. We wait to see what she can do this year. Hopefully, no more distractions like last year. We're not going this an Olympic year. The last Olympics, Toby came fourth. That's in 2021. You know, she came fourth. 2016 was semi-final. 2021 was fourth. So we want to see her get Olympic medal. That's the only thing distinguishing her between Black and Calgary. She's already like the queen of tracks. If she gets any Olympic medal, whether it be gold, silver, or bronze, but I'll be happy she can get the gold. That would be like an icing on the cake. The perfect way to wrap up, not wrapping up her career, because she still has a lot of years ahead of her. But that would be like the perfect thing she could do for herself. So if that's not happening, she's doing an Olympic medal, that would be a good one for us. We'll soon start the qualifiers and all, and I believe that she will qualify to the Olympics. So we're just going to see how it goes. Hopefully, there are no distractions. Hopefully, this matter is settled as quickly as possible, and then we'll see what the new game has in store for Toby and Musa, and also the Nigerian athletes at large.
Jimmy, let me just answer this one before we call it a wrap on the show. Do you see Toby Amusan getting out of the hands of the athletic integrity? Because no one has actually violated this particular rule and go free. See Toby Amusan, of course, being set free by the athletic integrity unit.
Definitely, it's a difficult one for me to want to ask again. I think she did that last year, so I mean, people competed at the World Athletics race last year. So I think that's the right step in the right direction. She's not been for being or anything. It's just recent, where were you, when these tests were conducted, and when she put up the defense, when that sanction came, she was busy traveling around the world and all of that. And for the independent point to have played her for us to compete, though you can't go through such straits as Dre has pointed out and still have the mind to compete, and that shows you the strength Nigerians have. I only pray for her, and I think that case is different from Best of Harper's own, which she was also, she knew what she was doing because of email. So as different, And as Nigerians, for me, I think she should be able to come out of that. And I'll be very happy because that clearly shows that Nigerians, we are honest people, and definitely when we are set out to do something, we do it with all amounts of sincerity and honesty, and definitely to pay us is our role model, and she has been able to do that and actually put smile on the faces of a lot of Nigerians and parents. So I think she will come out of it, and definitely we all need to support her at this point.
All right, calling to wrap up this point, Jimmy, I must say a very huge thank you to you for joining us on the show this morning.
Thank you, Case. It was a pleasure.
Ezine, thank you very much. I really do appreciate your knowledge about Toby Amusen.
Thank you very much, Kingsley, for having me, and also hi to Jimmy. It's very short. Thank you.
All right, next week, Saturday, will be another day where we'll bring you another sports personality on Atlantic Television and Network. Do want to join us, but the sports team makes a return by 6 p.m. for Sport Extraordinary. Stay locked on Atlantic Television Network as more programs will be coming. Name, Kingsley Manuel. Thanks for watching.